Hey everyone, I hope you're having a lovely week. Today I want to talk a little bit about a question that came up in the Confident Women's Circle. A few people were asking me a little bit about how do I know if what I'm doing is valuable? How do I know if my content is valuable? So I want to address this idea of value and how do we really know, right? Whether we're investing our time into the right activities and whether what we're doing really has meaning. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is passion, okay? Because the people we know who are crazy good at what they do, who are insanely successful, love what they do. They are extremely passionate about it to the point that the action itself is what makes them happy, not the result, right? They love practicing, they love making mistakes, they love almost everything about what they're doing. So whether that's in your business and the service or products that you're making and how those have an impact, or whether it's, for those of you who aren't doing business right now or still in the early stages, like thinking about your hobbies and the things that you're doing every day that make you happy, that you would do no matter what, okay? The people who are successful, that's what they have. They have these things in their lives that they love. And that's why work doesn't feel like work for them, and they're happy to get up every day and put that energy into it, and they're not questioning whether what they're doing has value or not, because they inherently love it. It wouldn't matter to them if it didn't have value, right? Like if there wasn't meaning to other people, it wouldn't matter because there's meaning to them. So this is part of our bigger thought of why you're really doing the things you want to do, and shutting out the noise around you of what other people are saying, what other people believe, and what other people are thinking. Like, those are the things that just don't matter, because no one else is in your shoes. No one else is having the experiences that you're having. They don't have the same desires that you have. And that's why that outside noise tends to distract us. That's what tends to get into our head, and those are the negative thoughts and fears that spin around and convince us that what we're doing doesn't make sense, or makes us worry, like, is this really the thing that's going to set me up for success, right? What I have found to be true in my business, in my life, is that the outcomes don't matter as much, and they happen naturally when I'm really focused on doing what I love. And if I pour that energy into it, it's going to happen consistently, which is how we get success, right? It's like going to the gym once versus going to the gym 4 days a week for 3 months, right? Like, of course, like if you find some sort of, we'll stick with this for a second, but if you find some sort of activity or exercise that you love doing, like say you're not really big into like going to the gym, but you love playing soccer, right? You're going to go and do it because you love it. And then because you've been doing it for so long, you're going to be better at it. You're going to be in better shape inherently because you're running around all the time and practicing. So when you love the thing that you're doing, when you love the action, the result happens naturally. What we tend to do is doubt ourselves, and we listen to what other people are saying and what other people are having success with, and we try to copy them. And I used to feel this way just in my personal life. Like there were people I looked up to and I would try to be exactly like them. I was like, oh, well, they're amazing. I just want to be them. But what we have to realize is we have to step away from everything external to some extent and focus within and recognize, like, what are my capabilities? What is it that I'm really good at? And like just do more of whatever's working. So with your anxiety, guys, there's a lot of it where this is coming is that we are focused on things that don't really matter to us, that we feel like should matter, or that other people are telling us should matter. And when we get back on our path and we inherently recognize our own capabilities and what we're good at, that inner critic tends to shut its mouth and we're able to take the action we really want to take and devote 100% of the energy that we have to doing what we want to do, and inherently get success from that. So focus on what you know to be true for yourself, and always what I try to do is expand the opportunities around me. So just because something feels like it's outside of my reach and it might not be something that's like a truth for me yet, instead of focusing so much on like, oh, I don't know if that's really true, or I don't know if I really can do that, look for the opportunities, look to expand learning, look to always think of developing and looking for those opportunities, because that's where the magic starts to happen, is when we push out of what we know and into that learning and that getting outside of our comfort zone place. We develop that inner belief. So for me, what was really the key thing that I did in order to instill this belief in myself of what I'm good at, in order to really recognize my inherent value, my capabilities, in order to not be afraid to expand that, to make mistakes as I was growing, was through meditation. Meditation has so many benefits, guys. Even just sitting for a few minutes and doing it, even if you don't think, like, my mind's not slowing down, I'm not getting the results that everyone says they get from meditation, even just the act of doing it and feeling like it's going wrong is still beneficial, because it starts to teach our body how to slow down, and it puts us in a slightly more relaxed state. The more we're able to get out of our head and stop criticizing what we're doing when we're trying something new and practicing a new activity like meditation, the more the meditation will work for you, because we need to just allow ourselves to be in a new state, okay? And allow ourselves to go easy, to flow, to see how it feels, to be curious about how it feels. So in meditation, one of my favorite apps and one of my big goals for this year is really to do more regular meditation. It was almost my New Year's resolution to meditate every day for the entire year, and it didn't resonate for whatever reason. I ended up picking a slightly different goal, but it's still on my mind of something that I want to continue doing and continue practicing. I love this app called Insight Timer. It's free. There's fantastic apps that are free for meditation. So as you guys play with it, find what works for you, okay? Don't feel like you have to use Insight Timer. It's just one of the ones I found recently that I really enjoy using. But play with this idea of stillness, with this idea of slowing down, with this idea of being curious about what you're thinking. How often do we just think things and not really evaluate what we're thinking? That's, to me, where the fear tends to come in and derail, is because we're just thinking these negative thoughts and we've gotten into this tailspin and we're just going down the rabbit hole with these negative thoughts, rather than sitting back and kind of looking at them and saying, like, wow, I'm really having this fear about, about launching my new program, right? If we're just thinking about all the time, like, oh, like, this seems like a lot, oh, I'm overwhelmed, ooh, this is really big, and I'm just focused on those thoughts, rather than stepping back and saying, and looking at them and saying, like, wow, look at this, like, group of thoughts I've had on repeat lately, like, what is that about? And being able to step back from it, right? And it's just the clarity and perspective you have will be completely different. And meditation is one of the tools that really helps us to be able to separate from our thoughts. Anxiety tends to be very much being in the moment with the thoughts, living the fearful experience that the thoughts are telling us. And so when we're able to separate, it's really powerful. So if you guys are looking for additional techniques with meditation, or, I mean, guys, YouTube is amazing. There's so many resources for you, so many different ways to meditate. There's mantras, there's loving kindness meditation, there's guided meditations that walk you through what to do, rather than just you thinking you have to sit there by yourself in silence and not think about anything, which is not the way you want to start off in a meditation. But there's so many different ways to do it. You can do it walking meditation, you can do standing meditation, you can do it lying down, sitting. I mean, there's a plethora of different ways. So if you're saying to yourself, like, well, I've tried meditation and it didn't work, if you're still interested, I would encourage you to get creative and look for new opportunities and different ways to do it, and play with it, guys. Be playful. As always, stay playful, and you'll find what works for you. So yeah, if you guys have any other additional questions, just shoot me an email below and reply back and let me know. And I'm happy to guide you into new alternatives for meditation. And as always, if you haven't joined the Confident Women's Circle, that's where I do a lot of trainings, usually a couple live videos a week in that group. And everyone gets to ask questions, and we host challenges there. So if you're not already in the group, make sure to join, guys. This is a great free resource and a way for us to stay more connected and for you to get additional support and accountability. So I will drop the link for that below. All right, guys, enjoy your week, and I wish you the very best.